Now the question is, who got this removed? Was it Blake's team because they got so embarrassed that they actually went for this?
Yeah, we've lost some talk.
Hi and welcome to Flossom Talk. I'm Tashti Floor, journalist, Hollywood truth teller, and your voice of reason in a town built on delusion. As you know, there's a lot of delusion going on lately. I was talking a lot about that yesterday as well. And this episode will also be filled with a lot of delusional ideas. We'll go through what happened yesterday that made me so embarrassed on Blake Lively's behalf. This story is so cringe, you guys. You need to get a pillow to put it in front of your face while you listen to this. So this has to do with Travis Kelce's podcast and everything that went down after that. And this, oh my God, yeah. Anyways, I'm going to talk about that. And also I'm going to talk about this ridiculous bracelet and what it could actually mean. Something that no one else thought about. Then we have a little update on Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban, and also a beautiful message from Dolly Parton, who says she is not dying. Anyways, let's dive right into this story that happened yesterday. So if you missed this entire drama, here's a really short recap. Travis Kelce and his brother uploaded an episode on their podcast on Monday, and it was a review of one of Blake Lively's movies, Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. Everyone was like, why are they doing this right now? And they're calling her a friend. Is this a way for them? Is it a signal for them to say that we're still friends with Blake, or what's going on here? The comment section went bananas. And then shortly after, people started realizing that, oh, this is an old episode. This is an episode that was created on 17th of October of last year. And they just re-uploaded it because they were rearranging their membership deals and they wanted all their content to be available for all viewers. But of course, some of the Blake Lively friendly media really spun on this and it completely backfired. So TMZ jumped on this straight away. It was like, look at this, Travis Kelce is showing love for Blake Lively, and they did a big story about it. And then either they reached out to Blake Lively's team or they were already in touch with them. Maybe Blake Lively's team were actually the ones pointing this to them and saying, hey, have you seen this? You should write about it. And then they were like, we can give you some quotes from Blake. And this is where it gets really embarrassing, because at this point, they didn't realize that this was a year old. And Blake came out to TMZ with quotes saying that the A-list movie Bombshell was taken aback given her fallout with Swift and was overall pleasantly surprised by the comments. And then they realized, oh my God, this is old. What do we do with this article? Let's just delete it. Let's just scrub it from the internet. And that's what they did. And Andy over at Popcorn Planet, all credit goes to him for actually seeing this happening in real time. He did a live about it yesterday. And he looked for the article, and I also looked for the article in the Time Wayback Machine, I think it's called, where you go back and you look at the history of an article, and it's gone. It's still in Google search, so you can find it there. But when you click on it, it comes up this error and nothing's there. But thankfully, Daily Mail already had picked it up. So they rewrote that story on Daily Mail. So Blake Lively's reaction to this beautiful call for friendship is still out there on the internet. And this is just so embarrassing for her team. It's super embarrassing for TMZ, who actually went for this. And yeah, I think it's embarrassing just to talk about it. Now the question is, who got this removed? Was it Blake's team because they got so embarrassed that they actually went for this and were like, oh, why didn't we realize that it was a year old? Another thing here is that Blake actually reacted to this a year ago as well. So it's not like she didn't know that they made this episode, which makes it even more like, you know, lazy journalism. And the fact here that actually so many media outlets picked this up, it's all over the place. Although TMZ did a correction here, actually. After they had published that first article about Travis Kelce calling Blake Lively a friend, they did put in a correction in that article. At 11:35, they said, well, this episode of New Heights Film Club was re-uploaded. It turns out It first aired last year, was re-uploaded for members only in March, and it's been published for public consumption today. That timing is interesting, ... So they're trying to really justify here that other article they wrote that they later deleted. And they're asking, does it suggest there's a possible thawing out there in Taylor Blake's situation? Since this particular episode got a fresh look today, we're investigating the clues over here. Well, I want to know what the investigation led to. To me, this is kind of a random thing that happened that Travis Kelce himself had nothing to do with. You have to remember that him and his brother did a huge, I think it was $100 million plus deal with Amazon for this podcast, and it's produced by Wave Sports Entertainment. You know, it's such a huge operation in some of these podcasts. It's not like mine where I'm just sitting here by myself, you know? So to even think that Travis Kelce knew about this re-upload is kind of ridiculous, if you ask me. Why would he suggest that? Like, hey Jason, should we repost that review of Sisterhood with the Traveling Pants when we call Blake Lively a friend? Like, no, that did not happen. And this whole story now is getting so embarrassing for all the outlets that went for it. And yeah. Now the question is, who asked this to be scrubbed from the internet? Was it Blake Lively's team who was so embarrassed that she actually came out and like, oh, I'm so surprised, this is so nice, and it actually didn't happen? Or is it TMZ that's so embarrassed that they didn't do the research to actually see that this episode was really old? You can try and find this article. It's impossible, but it's still available on Google as when now I record this episode. I can still find it in search on Google search, but when you click on it, it's gone. Okay, now we need to talk about this bracelet as well, because everyone's been going on about that for the last couple of days. And now all the major outlets have picked it up as well. It's so ridiculous to me. So I just wanted to test another spin on this whole idea of this bracelet, because I think you can look at this in a completely different way. And I think Taylor Swift is a lot more clever than people are actually giving her credit for here. If they're saying that she wore that bracelet on the cover of The Life of a Showgirl to actually show her bond to Blake Lively, who wore it at the premiere of It Ends With Us, that makes zero sense. This idea that I have here makes more sense. Think about this. The day that Blake Lively wore this bracelet at the premiere of It Ends With Us, it's kind of a symbol of her downfall. This is where everything went wrong. This is where the PR chaos started. This is when her fan base was divided. This is when her narrative collapsed. So when Taylor slips on the same bracelet for her album cover, it doesn't feel like solidarity. It feels like a statement to me. She's not saying, I stand with you, Blake. She's saying, I see you, and now you have to see yourself. Because as we know, Taylor doesn't wear symbols lightly. And if that bracelet represents that moment where Blake's carefully built image started to crumble, then wearing it now could mean that she's holding up a mirror to her. It's not an homage, it's accountability wrapped in glitter and diamonds. It's a quiet reminder that you can't rewrite the story when you're the one that authored the chaos. Remember when friendship bracelets used to mean something in Taylor's world? It was passed between fans, friends, and tour mates. Blake Lively wore them, Ryan Reynolds wore them. It was a gesture saying we're in this together. But this time it hit differently, because that bracelet that Blake Lively was wearing at the premiere of It Ends With Us is not a symbol of friendship anymore. You could see it as something that's become a shorthand for everything that unraveled after that. The controversy, the backlash, the silence. So when Taylor is wearing an almost identical, or identical as some people say, bracelet on her cover, it's not a nod to Blake. I would say more, it's a nudge. Taylor invented the language of friendship bracelets, and she knows exactly how to weaponize it. Remember that scarf thing with Jake Gyllenhaal? This is not the first time she's using symbols like that in her songs. Remember that scarf, the red scarf that she sung about in one of her albums, which became kind of a cultural symbol? And it was not about heartbreak, it was about control. She took something that once represented loss and turned it into power and ownership. So that's just another idea of how we could look at that bracelet. That's why I'm pointing out when people are saying that, hey, we know the answer here, we know why she wore that bracelet. No, you don't. Only Taylor Swift knows why she picked that bracelet, or if someone just picked it out for her. As I said yesterday, a lot of people have worn this Lauren Swartz bracelet before. One of them, Megan Thee Stallion, who wore it in 2022 at the Oscars. So it's not like a one-of-a-kind bracelet. But I just wanted to put things a little bit in perspective here for people who are just like going for this one theory, thinking like, oh, we figured it out. This is what this bracelet means. Also, we need to do a little follow-up on Keith Urban and Nicole Kidman. And it seems like now Nicole Kidman is not really done with Keith. Radar Online reports that Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban has very different takes on their splits. Keith Urban has said to his friends that this was a long time coming, but those close to the actress say that she was blindsided. And she is struggling to accept that this is the end of their marriage. So Keith Urban has moved out, as we know, and it says here that the source close to the pair says something just ended naturally, while friends of Nicole are saying that she was caught off guard with this. One insider here has said that Keith moved out and has really distanced himself from Nicole without giving much of a reason. He's been telling friends this has been building for years and that they've been living separate lives for a while. But Nicole does not see it that way. She feels totally blindsided and doesn't understand how things unraveled so quickly. And here another source is saying that Nicole's holding on to hope that there's still a way back for them. She's finding it incredibly hard. She doesn't want a divorce, but Keith is emotionally distant. He's not showing any interest in repairing things, and she feels completely shut out. I find it a little strange that she still hopes that they will get back together after she actually filed for the divorce and they have arranged everything with their kids and everything. So I think that's a little bit strange. But at the same time, when you've been together with someone for 19 years, of course, it's even hard to imagine a life or a situation without that person. And now a friend of Nicole Kidman says here that she fears that Kidman herself fears that her estranged husband may be withdrawing from more than just their marriage. One source said that Nicole can't help being concerned. Keith's been distancing himself from people, even parting ways with bandmates he's worked with for decades. Those close to him think there could be something more behind it. Well, that's really sad to hear. I feel like all these rumors that we've been talking about lately about Keith, that he had moved on with someone else, and that's a lot of things are pointing to this guitarist, and then there's other rumors that there are more women involved. We don't know yet. A friend of Kidman here again says that she's trying to come to terms with the split, and one insider said Nicole's not ready to give up, but it seems Keith made his decision. After almost 20 years together, she truly believed they would last. She's heartbroken and everyone close to them feels the same. Yeah, it is really sad. I saw Nicole Kidman was in Paris right now. She's there for Fashion Week. She's also the new face of Chanel again, which she's really excited about. She looked great in those videos, I have to say. She looked better than I've seen her in a long time. It's almost like her face looks a bit more natural now, and we can see her natural beauty. But I guess for both of them, it's good to keep busy because then you try to keep your mind off things. So I wish them all the best, and I hope that they can stay friends through this or when this is over, especially because of their kids that they're sharing. And yeah. Anyway, some good news from Dolly Parton. Everyone was writing about her disease and how serious it was and that she was almost dying. And today, Dolly Parton came out herself and said, look at me. I mean, she looks amazing. I love this woman. She is just such a powerhouse. And she's like, hey, I'm not dying, you guys. I'm here and I'm very much alive.
But I wanted you to know that I'm not dying. Did you see that AI picture of Reba and me? Oh, Lordy. I mean, they had Reba at my deathbed, and we both look like we need to be buried, but But then I thought, oh my Lord, but if I was really dying, I don't think Reba would be the one at my deathbed. She might come visit me earlier, but anyway, there are just a lot of rumors flying around. But I figured if you heard it from me, you'd know that I was okay.
Yeah, I'm so grateful for Dolly Parton. She's doing great and she looks amazing as always. And yeah, that's it for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you did, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, and like and share and hype and all that good stuff. And I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, we
Bye.
lost some talk.